Friends, Shabbat Shalom. It's so wonderful to be with you again for this Shabbat, and it's a Shabbat just following the so-called Israeli high holy days of Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut. All of the selections of or most of the selections of our music tonight are from Israeli artists and composers, and our readings are themed around that, as is my sermon. And there's even some Israeli treats at the Oneg for you. So there is a lot of Israel here tonight. We're going to begin our service on page 128 with a setting of Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman, Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman, Meshochav Decha, El Ritzonecha, Meshochav Decha, Ya la 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 la, El Ritzonecha. Yarutz Avdecha Kemo Ayah Yishtachaveh Yalai Yalalai Lai Lai El Mul Hadarecha.
To welcome Shabbat this evening, it's my pleasure to invite Sarah Hinton to light our Shabbat candles. You can find the reading before our candle blessing on page 121 and the blessing itself on page 120.
Do I do the reading first or just go ahead?
You can do the reading first.
Okay. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you so much. We turn now to page 659, the back of our book, so that the words can be more conveniently presented for us for a part of our Kabbalat Shabbat liturgy from Psalm 97, Tzadik Katamar.
By an Israeli, Avi Maslow.
Good, yeah.
Tzadik Katamar Yifrach Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Ke'erez Balanon Yizke, Ke'erez Balanon Yizke, Ke'erez Balanon Yizke, Yizke, Ke'erez Balanon Yizke, Ke'erez Balanon Yizke, Ke'erez Balanon Yizke, Yizke. Tzadik, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach Yifrach, Tzadik Katamar Yifrach, Ke'erez Balanon Yizke, Ke'erez Balanon Yizke, Ke'erez Balanon Yizke, Yizke, Ke'erez Balanon Yizke, Ke'erez Balanon Yizke, Ke'erez Balanon Yizke, Yizke.
We'll shortly lift our voices with the ancient, or medieval really, call of Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Pnei Shabbat Nekabala. Come, my beloved, to meet the bride. Let us welcome the presence of Shabbat. In this moment, I envision our people gathering as one. Those who rest under Topeka's open skies and those who stand guard across Israel's borders. As we welcome Shabbat's peace, we also honor the memory of the fallen as we did on Yom HaZikaron and embrace the promise of renewal of Yom HaAtzmaut. May this Shabbat, in the form of a bride of rest, heal our wounds, inspire our hope, and bind our hearts to our tradition's enduring light. We turn now to page 138 and 139 for our Piyut Lecha Dodi. As is traditional for us, we'll recite verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And when we reach the 9th and final verse, I will ask you to please rise and face the entrance of the sanctuary.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך תודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, כוחם ונעם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Please be seated. We continue on page 144 with the Chatzi Kaddish. Please respond where appropriate. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba be'alma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael Bagala uvizman kariv veimeru amen Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach ve'al mulal me'al maya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitramam v'yinaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudesha brichu le'elam min kol birchata v'shihirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amihiran be'alma ve'imeru Amen. Now I invite you to please rise once again for our call to worship, the Baruch Hu, which you can find on page 146.
Yalalai, lai, lai, 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 yalalai, lai, lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach, Baruch Adonai hamevorach, leolam va'ed, leolam va'ed.
Please be seated. On page 149 at the top, we read an alternative reading for Ma'ariv Aravim. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We continue on page 150 with a song, Ahavat Olam. It tells of the relationship, the love story between the Jewish people and God.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, uv'kumenu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei toratecha, uv'mitzvotecha leolam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negeyomam v'layla, negeyomam v'layla. יסיר ממנו לעולמי. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל.
We stand with our fellow Jews here in Topeka, in Tel Aviv, in every corner of our people, affirming that God is one. I invite you to please rise for the Shema on page 152.
And we normally do the Solomon Sulzer one, which is an awesome one, but we're going to do one written by Tzvika Pick, you guessed it, Israeli. Goes like this, and it's got some repetition. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
We continue with Ve'ahavta on page 154. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, v'dibarta b'ham, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uvshochbecha uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha, uktavtam Al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha lema'an tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim V'hiyot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem Emet. Please be seated. Today we just glimpse redemption, not only as an ancient or future event, but as a living reality, our return to sovereignty. Hebrew spoken on city streets, and blue and white flags rising after grief. As we proclaim, "Who is like you, O God, among the mighty?" we join in Israel's song of freedom, affirming that God has delivered us then and continues to deliver us today. We turn to page 158 for our song of redemption, Mi Chamocha.
Yai, lai, lai, la, lai, la, 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 la. Yai, lai, lai, la, lai, la, 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 la. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. מי כמוך, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה.
As night falls, we shelter in God's embrace and think of those who do not return home here and in Israel, soldiers, families who are waiting for them, first responders too. Grant us all rest, granting the resting peace, and grant our people safety until dawn. We turn to page 160 at the bottom for the translation of our prayer for the evening, Hashkivenu. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up our guardian to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Amen. Amen. On page 162, we offer our song for Shabbat, Vishamru, at the top of the page. Please join us.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Turn to page 164 for the Amidah, and I invite you to please rise. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei bneihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rab v'Hoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevuros, Umido melach, Melech memit umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Ne'eman atah l'hachayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, U'kdoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. I invite you now to continue your Amidah silently, either with the words on the page through page 180 or with the meditations of your own heart, and to be seated when you have finished.
Ose shalom bimromah, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Amen. As we prepare for Misha Berach, we think of those who are in need of healing, be it healing of mind, body, or spirit. In our own community, we are thinking of, and you can find the names in your service handout, of Doris Alexander, Shirley Bauer, Isaac Dodson, Seth Gallitzer, Norman Garfield, Laura Helrich, Brady Heights, Paul Hinkle, Rika Mattingly, Jan Kulik, Vivian Parker, Lupe Perez, Kelly Perkins, Marie Ruby, Dr. Arnold Schneider, Stephen Paula Shatera, Howard Schwartz, Joe Scraper, Ted Stempfel, Matthew Walker, and Jeffrey Wilmot. If at this time you are thinking of someone in need of healing and wish to share their name with the community so as to join our prayers for them together, I invite you to share their name out loud when my eyes meet yours, or if you're joining us on Zoom, to please add their names in the chat.
Wendy Bakarski, Rachel Harold,
Mrs. Bamford, Dwight Herndon family, the Stanley family, Roberta Davenport,
Keaton Ransom. Bodie Howell. Ursula Whitney.
Terry Hunt, and Kathy Porter.
We think of all those whose names are mentioned out loud, as well as those we keep in our hearts. We turn to page 371 for the words of our tradition for Misha Berach Lecholim, our prayers for healing, starting with me chanting at the top, followed by all of us singing in the middle of the page. Misha Berach Avotenu Vimotenu, Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Zarivka Rachel v'Leah V'Rechet HaCholim Shalanu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Aleihem, L'Hachlimam U'Rapotam L'Chachazikam, V'Yishlach Lehem Mehera Refuah, Refuah Shlema Min HaShamayim, Refuat HaNefesh Refuat HaGuf, Hashta B'Gala V'Zman Kariv, V'Nomar Amen.
Sheberach avotenu makor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Yisheberach imotenu makor habracha Bless those in need of
refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Amen. Before my sermon, since we are in this special couple of days after after Yom HaAtzmaut and Yom HaZikaron, I'm going to offer on page 552 our prayer for the state of Israel that is in our booklet. You're welcome to join me in Hebrew or in English, as you wish. Again, that's 552. Avinu Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzmichat Geulatenu, Hagein aleha be'evrat chasdecha, Ufros aleha sukat shlomecha, Ushlach orcha v'amitcha l'rashecha, Sareha v'yoatzeha, V'taknem be'etza tova milfanecha, V'natata shalom ba'aretz, V'simchat olam liyoshveha, V'nomar Amen. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. And now I want to say, I wrote a very typical blue and white Israel is really wonderful sermon. It is on my Times of Israel blog. You won't be hearing it tonight. I'm talking about something, I'm pivoting just a little bit. But if you want that sermon, if this sermon doesn't quite do it for you, if you want a little more rah-rah, know that I wrote that sermon for you already. It's on the internet. I'm happy to send you the link. Today, because of something that happened on the holidays, I have to change my focus a little bit. I think you'll understand. Just 2 nights ago, as Israel stood hushed in remembrance over its fallen, those who died for terrorism and those who died in service to the country, on Yom HaZikaron, a dark note intruded upon national mourning. At Beit Samueli in Ra'anana for Ki'ilat Ra'anan, a screening of the joint Israeli-Palestinian Memorial Day ceremony had erupted into chaos when a group of right-wing protesters hurled stones, set off fireworks, and physically assaulted congregants. Police intervened swiftly, detaining 3 suspects and treating 4 injured officers. The very sanctity of a synagogue, what the rabbis in the Talmud refer to as a mikdash me'at, or a small temple, in a way, small holy place, had become a battleground on a day meant for collective sorrow and unity. No ritual or respect for our dead could survive such betrayal. That sectarian violence, which is what I'm going to call it, offends the core of Jewish ethics. Lo ta'amod al dam re'echa. Do not stand idly by your neighbor's blood. It's commanded in the Torah, and it means more than just the rescue of innocence. It's used to forbid causing harm, neglect, or indifference to another Jew's peril. Our tradition treats the synagogue as sacrosanct, a microcosm of the Holy Temple. To threaten Jews in a synagogue in Israel on Israel's Memorial Day was to desecrate both memory and faith, replacing solidarity with sedition. Sadly, that outrage was not unprecedented. Just recently, vandals have spray painted the walls of a Netanya Reform synagogue with hateful slogans denouncing apikorsim, heretics. For American Jews, like you, who reject extremism and support pluralism, this is a moment that demands more than outrage. It demands leverage. And I have a way for you to have just that. If you haven't yet voted, the 39th World Zionist Congress, I know you've heard me talk about it before. The election is ongoing through May 4th. For the low, low price of a $5 registration fee, it offers every U.S. Jew who's a Zionist, who believes in the Jerusalem platform, the chance to shape Israel's future by voting at zionistelection.org. Selecting slate number 3, which is our slate, the vote reform slate, which I am a candidate on, is not a partisan gesture within our communities, but a stand for democracy, religious equality, and the pluralistic vision that would guard our synagogues from political mobs. When reform voices hold weight at the World Zionist Congress, institutions like the Jewish Agency and the Jewish National Fund have to account for our values in funding decisions, including supporting the growth and safety of existing egalitarian Jewish communities in Israel. We, neither here nor there, our reform friends at Kehilat Ra'ananan, can't afford complacency, and neither can you. Help encourage first-time voters. If you haven't voted yet, you have just a couple days. Please do so. Invite every Jerusalem program supporting Jewish adult to register and cast their ballots before the May 4th deadline. In communities both large and small, we must recognize these Israeli holidays by transforming our sorrow over these events, our wish for a different future for us and for the Israeli people, for religious pluralism. All of that is reflected in our desire in the World Zionist Congress to represent the values we hold dear. And that's the best way we can be fierce defenders of Israel's future. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. And now it is my pleasure to invite up for announcements Jane Green. Did you not know? Is this a surprise?
No, I know.
Okay. Okay, I was like, oh no, what did I do?
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
On behalf of our Board of Directors, I want to extend a warm welcome to our guests and members. On this Shabbat, we extend a thanks to Stephanie Schutiera for closing. I thought I was good, thank you. Sarah Hinton for leading candles. Karen Stern for leading Kiddush. Doug Myers for hosting the streaming equipment. Brandon Howard for leading our music phenomenally. And Rabbi Stern for leading our Shabbat service and the excellent sermon. To everyone who brought a dish to share and setting up for Oneg. What? Oh, and I get it. So for everyone who brought a dish and helped set up for Oneg, please stay and help clean up. Those who didn't help set up don't have to stay, I guess. On Friday, May 9th, please join us for our Friday Shabbat service. Haley McGee will be leading the service. Thank you, Haley. Did you know that? Brandon Howard will lead the music. Did you know that?
Yes, I do also, yes.
For other upcoming events and other important information, please check tonight's handout, the online event calendar, monthly bulletin, or weekly announcements. Tonight's tzedakah will go to the Interfaith of Topeka. The tzedakah box is in the foyer. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We like to make sure we always know what we're doing here at Temple Beth Shalom. You know, it's good to check with people sometimes. All right. Continue with counting the Omer on page 570. Hineni muchan zman lekayem mitzvat taseh shel sfirat haOmer. I'm ready to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat haOmer. Our praise to you, Adonai, sovereign of all, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. Hayom tishasre yamim shehem shtei shavuot v'chamesh yamim laOmer. Today is the 19th day, which is 2 weeks and 5 days of the Omer. So there you go. If you're up to date on your Omer, you've continued counting the Omer, which is wonderful. And now we're going to turn to page 586 as we prepare to conclude our service and go to our Oneg Shabbat. with Aleinu L'Shabeach on the bottom of the page, and I invite you to please rise.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת חלקנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אין עוד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
Please be seated. We think now of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, and those whom we have who died in this season in years past, as well as those we've drawn into our hearts with our own. At this time, we remember the yahrzeits, the anniversary of the passing of Henry Rosenholtz, Martin Wiseman, Morris Afrin, Jeffrey Lee Alexander, Vera Katch, Ed Noble, Lucy Nikki Nichols Stein. If at this time you are recalling someone you are in a period of mourning for, or you're recalling their yahrzeit, I invite you to share their name aloud as my eyes meet yours, or if you're joining us online, to please put their names in the chat. We turn to page 598 for the words of the Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish. And if it is your custom or you're in a period of mourning, I invite you to please rise on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyom echon, u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Please be seated. Now, as we wrap up our service, we're going to turn back to page 552. Our closing song before Kiddush and Motzi this evening will be Hatikva.
Kol od balevav penima, nefesh Yehudi homiya, ulfatei mizrach kadima, ein lezion Sophia, od lo avda tikvatenu, ha-tikva shnot alpayim, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, בארץ ציון בירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, בארץ ציון בירושלים.
And now we will turn to our Kiddush and Motzi. It is my pleasure to call up my wife, Karen Stern, to help with the Kiddush and the Motzi, and you can turn to page 123 for the words. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu. Zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Ki banu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim. V'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. Amen is you guys. L'chaim. And now we will uncover the challah.
She's beautiful. Look at
Indeed, and would you mind cutting the challah, honey?
Absolutely.
And please join us. If you need the words, they're on 606, but we'll probably be done before you get there.
Do we have any children?
Do we have? No.
No, okay, okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Patei Avon, may this, I'm hoping that this Shabbat is one that brings us a little bit closer to, well, also to the end of the World Zionist Congress election, which I know you're done hearing me talk about, but also a little bit closer to the Israel that we seek and that we love and that we are proud of.